The media is having a very bad, no good, awful day. But guess what? I'm here for it.
Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Don't pull right down the side.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jacob Airy. Welcome to the StudioJake vidcast, where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And listen, I know I'm going to be late on a couple of the reports here, but I'm pretty stoked about this. If you follow me on any of my social media accounts or even just watch me here, you know that I have an abject disdain for the mainstream media. I like to think of it as a healthy disdain. Some people would disagree, I guess. But I'm very excited because we are seeing this backlash that the public is having against what some people call the corporate press. So that's basically any type of media outlet or journalist or journo, whatever they want to call themselves, that is funded by some corporate overlord that usually donates to a particular political party. So basically what we're seeing is this huge backlash. Now, this one I was kind of expecting. The two that I'm talking about right now, I kind of had a gut feeling that things were going to end poorly for them. So, a few weeks ago, I think I reported that Vice News, which I never understood what people thought of the big deal about Vice was. Okay, maybe in the early stages when they still had Gavin McInnes with them, they were good. But as soon as he left and they brought in these big bucks, they really just started to look like every other news outlet ever. So they are suspending all work. They are suspending their journalists. They are going to no longer publish articles on their website. And I really think that this is a perfect demonstration of that age old wisdom: get woke, go broke. So, this is according to Fox Business. Vice Media's progressive news site is the latest one to shutter as media organizations continue to weather a difficult time. Vice Media CEO Bruce Dixon said in his memo to staff last week that several hundred employees would be laid off and the company would stop publishing content online. Last year, Vice filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy before being sold for $350 million to a consortium led by the Fortress Investment Group. Now, Dixon has announced that hundreds of impacted staffers will be notified in the coming days that their positions will be eliminated. I know that saying goodbye to our valued colleagues is difficult and feels overwhelming, but this is the best path forward for Vice as we position the company for long term creative and financial success, Dixon said in the memo to staffers, according to the Associated Press. Dixon added that distributing its digital content was no longer cost effective and the company would instead focus on its social channels and look for new ways to distribute content. The AP noted that Vice was once a swashbuckling media company geared to a younger audience with an immersive storytelling style that encompassed digital television and film outlets and was valued at $5.7 billion in 2017. Vice Media did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Yeah, goodbye. That's what I have to say to that. That it's amazing to me that these outlets, they just went down a certain political path, and instead of reevaluating and thinking, maybe it's us, they just continue to attack the audience. They continue to attack their readers who are just coming to them for news, but instead they just wanted to slap them in the face and tell them, sorry, you're going to like what we have to say and you'll have to get over it. Most of the news media is, in fact, just commentary. They don't even report the news, or if they do, they lie by omission. They forget to tell you certain things or who's connected to what. It is really stunning how they bend the narrative. But like I said, that story is a couple of weeks old. We're going to turn to one that's more recent. So again, a few weeks ago, I did a video about Deadspin and how one of their writers by the name of Karan Phillips, whatever he wants to call himself, he did this horrible article where he smeared a little boy who was at a Kansas City Chiefs football game, and the Kansas City Chiefs, their colors are red, gold, and black, and they use black especially on their specials teams. So he had painted his face half black, half red, and he was wearing a Native American headdress. So Phillips decided to smear this kid. He called him a racist. He said he's in blackface and redface. Well, then it turned out, this was a football game, and you dress up in the style and in the colors of your team. That's been going on, since the invention of football, real football, not that soccer knockoff. Ever since then, people have been doing that. They've been decorating their ways. But Phillips, no, he's being a Karen and he's going to smear this child. Well, then it turned out, even as the child was being defended, turns out his family is actually Native American. You can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. So his family decided to sue Deadspin because, this is clearly a malicious act of libel. I'm no lawyer and no legal advice in this, but come on, you should think twice before you levy such a harsh accusation against a private citizen, especially an underage one. Absolutely ridiculous that Deadspin even allowed that article to go out. Absolutely disgusting. Well, it turns out their their parent company, which I can't remember the name of, decided to just sell them and fire the whole staff. Or I should say the company that's buying them is firing the whole staff. Now, I don't know how this will affect the kid and his parents' lawsuit. We don't know for sure, but I just think that this is so delicious. So this is according to Front Office Sports. The sports media company Deadspin has been sold and all staffers were let go. Employees were told Monday during a company meeting with Front Space Office Sports confirmed with one of those workers. The European firm Lineup Publishing bought the company from Geo Media. An email obtained by FOS from CEO Jim Spanfeller to Geo Media employees Monday, which misspelled the company's name, read while the new owners plan to be reverential to Deadspin's unique voice. They plan to take a different approach regarding the site's overall sports coverage. About a dozen people were on staff before the meeting and they were immediately locked out of their emails and company platforms, the employees told FOS. Employees were told that Lineup Publishing is a startup and plans to publish the same kind of stories that already run on Deadspin, per that staffer. And then it goes on, talks about Lineup Publishing. I've never heard of them, and especially don't really care about them since they're European. It says Geo's parent company, the private equity group Great Hill Partners, bought Deadspin from Gizmodo Media in 2019, along with other outlets like the feminist site Jezebel and tech site Gizmodo. Geo Media shut down Jezebel in November before selling it later that month to Paste Magazine, and the site has since resumed coverage. That is so funny. So, like I said, go woke, go broke. This is what happens when you smear the very readers you are trying to connect with. Deadspin is a sports magazine. What on earth is it doing attacking a child for wearing his favorite football team's colors? That makes no sense to me. Why was this even allowed? You expect something like that on, say, the Huffington Post or Jezebel even. You do not expect it from Deadspin, which is just supposed to tell me who made a touchdown or a hole in one. Come on now. This is what is destroying the media. They're doing it to themselves. And I am not shedding a single tear for any of those journalists. They made their bed and they lied and they have to lie in it. Or maybe not since they got fired. But are there good people at Vice Media or Deadspin or any of these other outlets? Possible, but not a single one of them has stood up and said, "Hey, I don't like the way we're reporting the news or the way we're covering this." Not one Deadspin reporter defended that kid. Not one Vice Media journo came forward and saying, "Hey, maybe we shouldn't accuse one particular group of being bigoted." It was cowardly. Now, if it goes the other way, it's totally fine. We say that all the time with Washington Post muckraker Taylor Lorenz. She does that all the time. She always criticizes people when it goes the other way, but no one wants to stand up and say, "Hey, I think this is wrong." So you know what? Adios. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. And it seems that Kotaku might be next. Clownfish TV, a former employee, or excuse me, a former employer, they are reporting that Kotaku is experiencing the same kind of outages that Deadspin and Vice Media have been experiencing. So they could be next. Again, I'm not shedding a single tear for a media corporate press that has forever maligned their readers, the people that they're supposed to be informing, or just the general public. They have done a terrible job of reading the news, and I am not sorry to see them go.